You're crazy.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another amazing episode of the Viall Files. I'm Nick, your host, joined by the household of Allie, Amanda, and Derek. Hope everyone is having an amazing day, whatever day it is that you are tuning into the show, especially for all you Thursday people out there who can't wait to get to our episodes of Going Deeper. We're having a fantastic episode with a very funny, a very hilarious Anjelah Johnson-Reyes is with us today. We get into a bunch of things like having babies. It's an amazing episode with Anjelah. We can't wait for you to hear that. Before we get into that, what else do we have going on? What's new? What's cracking?
Fresh off the press is...
Fresh off the press.
Fresh off the press.
So hot.
Is piping hot. It's a upsetting story about Harry and Meghan being followed in I guess a 2-hour-long chase saga throughout New York City after an event that Meghan attended that was for a women's foundation.
Yeah, so her mom Doria was with her. It was the three of them that was attending. It was like a women's gala in New York. Meghan gave a whole speech. They left, and I guess they released a statement that said, last night, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex and Miss Ragland were involved in a near catastrophic car chase at the hands of a ring of highly aggressive paparazzi. This relentless pursuit, lasting over 2 hours, resulted in multiple near collisions involving other drivers on the road, pedestrians, and 2 NYPD officers. While being a public figure comes with its level of interest from the public, it should never come at the cost of anyone's safety.
But why were they in a 2-hour chase? That's the only thing that it sounds weird
like,
to me. It's just like...
Well, it seems like that's how long it took to disperse paparazzi.
My main level of concern for anyone is the pedestrians not involved in this chase. I'm so glad that everyone is okay, especially Harry and Meghan, and well, everyone. I'm glad everyone is okay. Why is there a chase going on for 2 hours? While I empathize with it must have been scary and traumatic for Harry and Meghan to experience this, I don't think in any way it makes it okay for them to have done anything illegal from a traffic violation that may also put any other pedestrians at risk. I don't think them being chased by paparazzi justifies them running red lights or speeding. And I don't know if that happened, but at the same time, a chase sure sounds like there's two different parties, the person being chased, the party being chased, and the chasers. Sure implies that there might have been some traffic violations in those 2 hours.
So this person said, despite being confronted by uniformed police multiple times, the paparazzi's cars continued their pursuit in trying to follow the Sussexes and Doria to the private residence they were staying at. Traffic violations by the drivers included driving on a sidewalk, going through red lights, reversing down a one-way street, driving while photographing, and illegally blocking a moving vehicle. Photos of the couple that came as a result of the 2-hour chase briefly appeared on the Daily Mail this morning, but have since been removed. A source close to the Sussexes says Harry, Meghan, and Doria are understandably shaken, but thankful everyone's safe. Can you imagine what was going through Harry's head in a car with Meghan, who he has literally said he tried to remove from the royal family so that she didn't become his mother? And he's sitting in the exact same situation his mother was in when she died.
So fucked up.
Yeah, but
terrifying.
I don't know.
Like, yeah, like the most triggering incident that could possibly happen.
But they're not removing themselves from the spotlight. So I don't know if Harry's done anything, you know.
I would also argue, though, that the reason that they've made certain business decisions that they have is because their security has been stripped, and he needs a way of being able to protect his family with security proven by this incident.
Literally.
Yeah, but why are they driving? Why aren't they taking a helicopter? You can rent a helicopter in New York.
Yeah, but that's expensive again. And then if they're doing stuff in the public eye,
they've made over $200 million. They're so loaded. They have money pouring in. They are probably warming their furnace with cash.
But do you know how awful those articles would have been if someone would have saw them get in a helicopter following a women's event?
Huh?
They would have destroyed Meghan.
Who? What?
The press? They would have said, who is this entitled bitch flying in a helicopter? There are people dying.
No one would have said that.
Yes, they would have. They rip her apart.
I'm sure someone would have said that. But they take helicopters. They fly.
The real thing is, like, how do we regulate paparazzi? Like, how do we or like not even right? Like, how do we make sure like there's any kind of enforcement or punishment? Because like we can like cherry pick and nitpick about the way various people are responding, but I think at the end of the day, this shouldn't be an issue to this degree. I get it. The whole all of society like loves celebrity. It comes with a price, but like there needs to be a point where it is like criminalized in a specific way that deters what is happening right now, because like no one's doing shit about it.
That's the thing. Despite being confronted by uniformed police multiple times, why weren't they arrested?
Why is it allowed? Why are they allowed to harass? Clearly, that's harassment.
Literally, yeah.
Right?
And like
so
they need to be arrested so that they can press charges.
But why aren't they?
I don't know. I
It's
don't
a
know
good
what
question.
the laws are.
And it's like, and we see this happen time and time again. And sometimes we take the side of like the people being pursued. Sometimes we're like, oh no, the people like with Nick Lachey, like a lot of people are like, he was being too aggressive, like that was out of line. And it's like, regardless of who you're going to try to like blame in any given situation, the fact is that it shouldn't be happening. And the paparazzis are the one who is initiating all this contact. So like we need to.
Why don't they have tinted windows?
I mean, we don't know what their window situation was. The photos were removed.
But can't they get windows so tinted that they couldn't possibly get photographed?
They want to follow them to the private residence, see them get out of the car.
No, I get that.
They want everything.
They want it all.
It's so weird because, you know, to get someone on TV, you need them to sign all this paperwork. You know, like we see that on like The Bachelor or other reality shows. Like you can see the people in the background with their face blurred out who like clearly didn't sign the release.
Yeah.
And it's such an interesting issue that we're now like trying to navigate now as a society, is the fact that it's no longer these like networks that have a monopoly on showing videos that get shown to everyone. Like anybody can record a video that goes viral, but we don't have that same like release process. So like nobody's getting consent anymore to be filmed.
I'm not a lawyer of any kind, certainly. But my understanding that has something to do with them being public figures is that I think the implication is they kind of forego that ability to, like, if they go out in public as public figures and they're photographed, somehow, I don't know why, but somehow that's okay.
But I'm even talking about like your average Joe who's just walking down the street while someone's doing something that goes viral on a TikTok.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like I don't know.
But you're right, because like if ABC, for example, like if you watch The Bachelor and you're doing B-roll, if I'm in Chicago running while they get B-roll of me kind of running and they film people, if you're recognizable in the shot, they will have people sign waivers. You could be in the background and it's kind of blurred and you're not really recognizable. They don't necessarily have to get you to waive that.
Right.
And if it's like in between, they might like blur out faces, but like, so they do have rules around that particular topic that, you know, you either have to get someone's consent if you can recognize some person in the shot, or if they're in the background. And I don't know how they distinguish those two things, but there are some rules around that. And then how that works with paparazzis and photographs, I don't know.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I feel like maybe California or places that are more media focused. I know New York has a lot of media focus, but California seems to be a bit stricter. But even if there's laws in place, people might clearly ignore them. But yeah, I also agree that because anyone can record anything, there's sort of like a culture of people just taking pictures. I mean, I even saw like a tweet, like a random tweet, and it was like someone was replying because someone basically took a picture of someone like playing video games in a Starbucks. And they're like, what kind of weirdo plays a video game in Starbucks? And it's like, this is just a random person. They're just hanging out, drinking coffee. And someone thought it was like, okay to like take a picture of this person and post it on social media.
Nothing makes me more mad than those videos that people will take of like someone who's vibing out at a concert or like chilling out, like doing just like bopping, minding their own goddamn business. And they'll take a video of it and be like, look at this like person dancing. That's disparaging. Yeah. That pisses me off so much. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, actually, though, what the fuck is wrong with you? It's one thing if you're so bored in the moment that you need to make some like stupid, shitty comment to the person you're with because you have nothing better to say.
You don't get to post them on the internet.
But to post that on the goddamn internet, like, what is your problem? Actually, though, like, why do you feel entitled to like take someone living their life and to like put them on a platform where they could be destroyed or where they're just so visible without them ever consenting or asking to be that visible?
And we talk so much about mental health, and I'm like, this is not even that person.
Are you talking about videos where like they clearly don't have the consent?
Yeah, like where it's like, oh, like
making
look
fun
at this
of
stupid person dancing, and then it's like just some like poor like 45-year-old person at a wedding, just like. Maybe they're dancing dorky. Who cares? And then they put it on the internet or like at a concert. I feel like that's where it happens a lot, where it's like you're with like complete strangers and then they'll put it on the internet and everyone's like, oh, like what a fucking idiot. And then some people are like, this is horrible. Why is everyone making fun of this person? That really gets me going.
I'm curious about this story, but yeah, I just this is literally breaking news coming out right now, but I'm guessing more information will come out. But why did it last for 2 hours? It is an interesting question of like, as unfortunate as this situation is, what level of responsibility do Harry and Meghan have? You know, despite I have no doubt, horrible feeling and anxiety riddled to be surrounded, but what responsibility they have to also make sure that they don't put anyone else in danger while they're trying to elude paparazzi.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you shouldn't be going, I'm not saying they were, but like if reports came out that they were like, the chase reached, you know, 120 miles per hour on the freeways, that's not okay. You know, they shouldn't be, you know, going at speeds that are unsafe for themselves and anyone else around them. And yeah, I don't know. And even if they get criticized for taking helicopters, that is maybe smarter and safer for everyone in the future. They certainly can afford it. I don't think they get a free pass to drive however they want just because they're being, and I don't, again, maybe they didn't break any traffic laws. Maybe it was only simply the paparazzi. It's a very fascinating kind of discussion.
Yeah. And it is scary to think about the way that, like, just by being in New York City, like, people who are trying to go about their day can be, like, suddenly, like, pulled into this. And, like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
How, like, yeah, crazy. So Taco Bell is fighting to get Taco Tuesday untrademarked. There's, I guess, a company called Taco John.
You've never heard of Taco John's?
You never heard of Taco John's?
Oh my God, I didn't know.
Yeah, there was one in Waukesha, Wisconsin. I think it's a Midwest thing.
It's literally the same as Taco Bell, right? I mean, I've never had it, but I'm just mean in setup, in how many there are.
There's Del Taco. That's pretty similar to Taco Bell.
What is
I know
Taco?
Del
How is
Taco.
Taco John's different?
I haven't been to Taco John's in maybe 25 years, but so I couldn't speak to it, but I am familiar.
I just feel like they're all kind of one and the same.
Yeah. Anyway, Taco John's.
So Taco John's currently has a trademark on Taco Tuesday. And Taco Bell believes Taco Tuesday should belong to all who make, sell, eat, and celebrate tacos. In fact, the very essence of Taco Tuesday is to celebrate the commonality amongst people of all walks of life who come together every week to celebrate something as simple yet culturally phenomenal as the taco.
Mm-hmm.
And I just
Is this like a PR? This is a PR stunt. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's Taco Bell.
Sometimes you just need a random
Taco Bell
story
needs
to
people
root for
rallying
people.
behind them.
Yeah, this is a cause that is simple.
And so what happens if they win?
Free
Tuesday
a
for
lot
all.
of Taco Tuesday marketing, probably. A lot of specials, which honestly,
Taco Bell will probably hook it up with some tacos on Tuesdays. Probably. Yeah. Right?
Oh boy, they better do some kind of spectacular thing. I also just like love the idea of someone going to law school and then having to to work on this law. You know, like you're working with a huge firm, your corporate firm. You're expecting to do like huge mergers and acquisitions for like
this is huge
Fortune 500 companies.
I can't imagine they'll win.
You can or can't?
Can't.
Really?
I mean,
it like comes down to what judge we get assigned.
I'm not well versed in. I mean, I've had to deal with some trademark stuff, but like if Taco John's is utilizing this trademark, yeah, I guess the question is how are they using it?
Yeah, and how restricted is it? Because Taco Tuesday does feel like something like I'm not like, oh, Taco Tuesday, classic Taco John's signature.
That's true.
Well, it also
it's
has
not like Live Moss.
Yeah, I don't know.
Have you heard of not to tangent, but a similar situation? Are you familiar with the British Bake Off controversy?
No.
So the show's called British Bake Off, right? But in the United States, it's called the British Baking Show. And the reason is because I believe it's Pillsbury owns the term bake off.
Oh.
What?
So the first season came out and was already shot. And they basically had to cut around and dub over and remove any instance of the use of Bake Off. And the worst part is the trophy is etched glass and it says Bake Off. So they had to CGI it to say Baking Show instead.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn. Pillsbury. It's like how in Australia, Burger King is Hungry Jack's. Because I think there's, as it was told to me, I have not done any research to verify this, but somebody just like some
Why
lovely...
couldn't they call it Burger Prince?
Because that was common for William.
That's iconic. Honestly, Burger Prince, That's fun. There's rhinestones. It's like, that's a sleek and pizzazz restaurant
Burger
pitch.
Prince.
But I think it
Prince.
has to do probably with the royal family, right?
Why?
Well, the reason they can't do Burger King is because I think there's some like random small business owner in Australia who's like, the Burger King Corporation was like, yo, like we would like, or you want this trademark, like we'll give you an insane amount of money. And they were like, no, I won't do it.
That's dumb.
I think it's awesome.
If it really was some sort of small business.
I think that is amazing. I think hold the line.
What?
Like,
I mean, again, maybe it was a smart business decision, but you're suggesting that you like it out of spite?
I like it out of underdog.
I like how I was thinking it had
one-
something to do with the monarchy. I'm like,
Well,
Queen Elizabeth said no.
So you like the underdog who is turning down, as you
situation.
describe, a truckload of money.
based on the principle. Yeah,
And-
I thought you more than anyone could
What a
get
bad
behind doing
friend.
something based off of the principle.
No. You would be the friend who's patting the friend on the back, being like, you know what, you should say no to this out of the principle. And they're turning down $5 million, what, $10 million? What price would you be like, you know what? Yeah, you turn down that money, stick it to the man.
I don't think I would tell someone what to do.
No, I'm just saying,
but
but
I would
like
celebrate.
you would.
So take your grandfather's lake house back when you'd been wanting to buy it. Let's say you'd bought it.
Okay.
And a big corporation had come around and been like, we want to build a Hyatt on this exact
How
plot of
much?
land. And they offered you some money. And then you were like, honestly, no, fuck you. My grandfather built this house. I would support that. I think that's so fun.
Well, again, how much? You know, if they offer me a little bit more than I paid for it, you know, I would say no. If they gave me life-changing money, there are other properties on the lake.
I just have I have a real appreciation for stubbornness that is not harming people, where no amount of money can make them not stubborn anymore.
Kind of harming yourself. I mean, again, I get there are a lot of variables in this equation, but like, you should have enough money that you don't, you know, quality of life. You should be able to afford everything you possibly need. I hope you have enough money to take care of yourself and your immediate loved ones if you're going to be turning down life-changing money for pride.
Yes. Absolutely. What do you guys think of the Senior Bachelor finally coming out?
the golden hour.
Exciting. Yeah.
But I wish we knew how old
it might
he
be
was.
a little bit boring. I think it's old.
Old?
Yeah. Like,
What is old?
Well, I remember I was talking to Rob Mills, and Natalie's mom is single and total babe, but she's too young for them. So I think they're looking for like 70s, 80s, older.
Like octogenarian.
Yeah, which I think is going to be kind of endearing, but I'm worried it's going to get boring. I don't know.
I also, it baffles me to think
I think
about.
it'll be really cute, but like
it'll
how...
be cute, but it baffles me to think about the fact, I guess there's some spicy old people, but these are people that grew up in such a different dating culture, and now they're going to be thrown into this show where they're one of 30 people all vying for the attention of one man. That doesn't seem like that would be up their alley.
But do we even know if they were going to do that?
We've heard of the ruthless dating culture of nursing homes.
I guess.
That we've heard to be true.
Old people fuck.
They be fucking, and it be dramatic. It be like Vanderpump level, like incestuous friend group.
I mean, it would be so awesome if this gets messy.
Yeah.
I
Like,
hope not.
But
why do you hope not?
well,
their blood pressure's too high.
oh.
You know how every bachelor they have like a fake ambulance
That's
come
literally
in.
what I was thinking.
Guys!
No, they can't do that because the stakes are too high. They cannot tease us like that. That would be, oh my God. Yeah, like, well, it's an amazing thing to think about, like, with the challenges, like, what direction are they going to go?
Obstacle course.
There's a certain number of, like certain physical, like, they're not going to have 80-year-olds playing tackle football.
I imagine it's going to be a lot different.
The best cross-stitcher wins.
Do you think they're even going to have group dates or shit like that? I feel like it's going to be pared down quite a bit.
I'm thrilled.
And do you think they'll have like a bachelor?
No, they do. I think it's one elder bachelor and a bunch of women.
No.
I heard it's one guy.
That makes sense to me because
It's not
feel
verified
like,
by anybody, but I did hear that.
I also I feel like it's a known fact that women have a slightly longer life expectancy than men. So it seems like it seems like it was
We got
very
more to
hard.
pick from.
Well, it was very hard to recruit for the show. It makes sense
What's
that there
your
would
5-year plan? Not dying.
It makes sense that there would be maybe more women available and interested than Golden Bachelors. It's just funny how often it's like, oh my God, like what is this person's mother gonna think watching the show? Or like sometimes people will reference their mom, and it's funny to think about like grandma embarrassing the family.
Oh yeah.
Like grandma doing some fuck shit.
I'm not here to make friends.
Hometowns is just the kids and the grandkids.
You're here for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, is Jesse hosting?
I assume so.
Huh.
Yeah.
I say give us an old person.
Like who?
You want an old host?
Yeah, I do. Like,
Steve Martin.
well, and I mean no disrespect at all to this woman if she is not in this age range, but is like Jennifer Coolidge in her late 60s? I know there's no world in which Jennifer
I don't think
Coolidge would host the Senior Bachelor.
Yeah, I think they're just going to stick with Jesse. I don't think you need to overcomplicate it.
She's 61. I'm so sorry, Jen. That was disrespectful. It was so disrespectful of me. Excuse me. But yeah, I think it will be probably very wholesome and sweet. And I think it might be nice to see them navigate drama, like in a more mature way.
Well, we'll definitely be watching it. Next week, we have an amazing week lined up for you. We have Tinks coming in for Ask Nick. So Celebrity Ask Nick special edition with our friend of show, Tinks. Be sure to check that out on Monday. On Tuesday, we'll be recapping the finale of Vanderpump Rules. It's going to be a wild, wild episode. And then on Thursday's episode of Going Deeper, we have Nicole from this season's of Selling Sunset. She's one of the new kids on the block, heavily involved in all the drama. Selling Sunset drops tomorrow. I've already been watching it. It is juicy, but I think Nicole is. I don't know. I'm not saying she's like this season's Christine Quinn, but she's involved in a lot. It's Nicole versus Chrishell.
Oh,
Oh,
how does
yeah.
Mary feel about that?
Why? How does Chrishell always end up in the drama?
I don't
I'm
know.
curious because she really does like. I think of her as someone who's like sweet in a way that is not fake.
I don't know.
So how is she always so like?
I don't know, but we're gonna watch. We'll find out. We'll have we'll ask Nicole next Thursday on Going Deeper. It's gonna be a while for all you Selling Sunset fans out there. It's gonna be a juicy episode. Don't forget that Viall Files Plus is dropping an update special tomorrow for all the people who love your Ask Nick and Texting Office Hour and Sweating the Wedding updates. We have a juicy one for you tomorrow. As always, our Pop Extra Pop Off All Things Pop Culture episode also drops tomorrow on Viall Files Plus. Viall Files Plus, it's a 7-day free trial, free to sign up. It's super fun. Everyone's loving it. It's all the content you love and then some. Again, free to sign up, 7-day trial. Let's go to viallfiles.com to sign up for Viall Files Plus. You can listen to Viall Files Plus the same way you listen to Viall Files, assuming you are listening to it audio. On an audio platform.
And if you're wondering who we're getting updates from, the updates include our caller who called in being a little bit concerned about her boyfriend's drinking habits because he would have whiskey every night. And we also have an answer from a person who called in to shoot their shot with their coworker's client at the hair salon. And then it was like, oh, is the coworker also interested in this guy? It was a bit of a love triangle, and we learned how it all panned out. So some really good updates.
That's a good
if
one.
you need some incentive to pull the trigger.
We love that. So be sure to check it out again. 7-day free trial. Better Date Than Never live tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern. We're talking orgies. We have a lovely couple who apparently is like on a recurring orgy with someone from Bachelor Nation. Names will not be revealed, but details will be, and it will be a juicy episode. So check that out, 9 p.m. Eastern. Live on AMP. We have an amazing Sweat in the Wedding caller this episode with Anjelah, so be sure to stick around for that. And for all the people who are listening to our Going Deepers, if you haven't checked out an Ask Nick yet and you like our Sweat in the Wedding calls or Texting Office calls, you get all that and more every Monday on Ask Nick episodes. It's just callers, stories, people's, whether it's relationships or dating or problems with families. The stories are interesting, wild, and fun, and people enjoy them. So check it out. Let's get to Anjelah.
I think there's so much value in when you upgrade some of your basics, like your classics, the stuff you wear when you run errands on the weekends, the stuff you wear to a workout class, and then to the lunch you get afterwards.
I got my gym trainer into Viore. I wore my new Viore, and then like literally the week later he wore it. So the pros are impressed with Viall. The product is incredible and versatile. It can be used for just about any activity like running, training, swimming, yoga, but it's also great for lounging or weekend errands. You look like you are like high-end comfortable, you know?
Yeah.
It's like comfortable with class with Viall. So whether you are lounging around or working out, they have something for everyone. It's incredibly versatile and comfortable. It's designed to look great for everyday life, perfect for any workout. For all the joggers out there, they have some of the softest joggers you'll ever experience. It's incredible. I mean, it's the softest joggers I ever put on. They have new colors that just come in, so if you want different designs, they have a variety for you. Their shorts are incredible, super comfortable. Everything they have is of the highest quality.
Also, Viall is 100% offsetting their carbon footprint, and they're also reducing and offsetting 100% of their plastic footprint from 2019 and beyond. So they're utilizing better, sustainable materials for their products, empowering your best active life, and truly just killing the game.
We love that. Viall is an investment in your happiness, and for our listeners, they are offering a 20% discount off your first purchase. So get yourself the most comfortable and versatile clothing on the planet at viall.com/VIALL. That is VUORI.com/VIALL. Not only will you receive a 20% off discount on your first purchase, but enjoying free shipping on any U.S. orders over $75 and free returns. Not that you'll want to return, but if you do, it's free. Go to viall.com/VIALL to discover the versatility of Viall clothing. This episode is brought to you by IQBar. Now get 20% off every IQBar product plus free shipping when you text files to 64,000.
I be snacking. I sometimes schedule myself like way too tightly. Like I will be like, I only have 15 minutes to get somewhere. It takes 20 minutes to get to. Like I am rushing around.
I'm already stressed.
One of the first things that goes when I'm feeling really busy and life is hectic is like eating good food, making time for myself to make meals. And IQBar has genuinely been so helpful because oftentimes if I have to eat on the go, I'm eating something kind of crappy and kind of processed that doesn't have a ton of like the nutrients that I'm looking for and that doesn't really fill me up. IQBar, first of all, genuinely tastes good. A lot of like protein bars that have this amount of protein and this low amount of sugar, not the best.
Garbage.
Texture is off. IQBar, very good. Also, for me, when I look at a protein bar, the first thing I look at is how many grams of protein are there and how much sugar is there. And for me, IQBar has that perfect ratio where it's really high in protein, also low in sugar. And if you're someone who's into all of the brain nutrients, IQBar is incredibly thoughtfully formulated to give you all of the things you need to not have a midday crash and to stay sharp and energized all day.
It's holistic and natural. It's made with real food, not chemicals, loaded with plant protein, prebiotic fiber, healthy fats, and functional nutrients like the lion's mane adaptogen. And like Amanda said, it's most importantly delicious and good for you. So all you busy on the go people out there, like Amanda, like all of us in this room, grab yourself an IQBar or grab many and keep yourself nourished. Right now, get 20% off all IQBar products plus get free shipping. To get your 20% off, just text FILES, F-I-L-E-S, to 64,000 to get your discount. That's right. Text FILES, F-I-L-E-S, to 64,000. That's FILES to 64,000. Message and data rates may apply. See terms for details. Anjelah.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you.
How are you? How is your heart? We always like to ask our guests that question.
It's beating.
It's beating.
Double time
You got
because I got to pump a lot of blood for a fetus. And this fetus is pretty almost full grown.
What is the appropriate questions for asking like a pregnant woman? Like, do you get to ask them how far along are you?
Sure,
like, at what point in the
you
pregnancy is it safe to be like, oh, congratulations, you're pregnant? Like,
Well, I think when she says she's pregnant, then you can ask the question.
Then you can ask the questions.
It's when you just assume, and then you might put your foot in your mouth.
Did you fuck with anyone? Did
Just
anyone?
my husband.
Okay, there was no one. How did you do that?
Sorry, what was your question?
Not did you fuck anyone? Just did you fuck with anyone?
Is that an appropriate question to ask a pregnant woman?
Who
Did you
is
fuck
the
your
father?
husband?
When he said, what are the appropriate questions to ask a pregnant woman? This is not where I thought we were going. I thought it was like, how far along are you? Do you have any cravings?
Yeah. So
Who you fucking?
Does your husband know? No. No. Early on, did anyone come up to you and congratulate you without you telling them, and then you fucked with them.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
I don't recall if I
Okay.
did that or not. I mean, I jokingly, like on stage when I was doing shows, I would just be like, I'm so bloated right now, like stuff like that. But everybody already knew at that point. But no, I don't think I did.
And this is your first?
Mm-hmm.
How's it been? Fun? Exciting?
I've
Tips and
enjoyed
tricks
it.
for our audience?
I've enjoyed it, actually. I know every pregnancy is different for every woman, and I have friends that had horrible, horrible pregnancies. I mean, Amy Schumer has a whole documentary about her horrible pregnancy, and I'm very grateful that I've had a fairly easy one, and I've actually enjoyed it. So I feel good. I mean, I'm in the home stretch now. Like, I'm a few weeks away. Like, it could happen right now, you guys. This could be an exclusive.
Like, selfishly, I'm like, kind of hope, like...
Nick, would you deliver a baby if need
No,
be?
I don't think that's necessary that I would need to do that.
What if you did need to?
But the
Would
question
you
is, do
step
I
up?
want the water to break on the new couch or...
That's immediately what I
Yeah.
thought
Yeah.
of. I was like,
I was
Nick and his
like, how
couch.
bad do I want this to happen?
He's like, new human life captured in the moment.
Really
Couch.
like this couch. My next guest will be like, don't worry, someone had
Yeah.
a baby there.
That would be iconic to have a birthing stain in the
Yeah.
studio.
A birthing
Your mark would be
stain.
forever known.
I love that.
Do I need to get a new couch or I just let
no,
it be
it's
part
like
of
a
the
special.
show?
It's like a special seat
It's
at
part of the
that
set.
point.
Yeah.
It's like
just like slide over there for the next guest.
it'll be like years down the road. Like there's that one restaurant where they're like, and this is where Frank Sinatra used to sit right
Yeah.
here. You know what I mean? Like, it'll make
This is where Anjelah gave
Johnson-Reyes went into labor.
Did you do anything special for Mother's Day? We just had Mother's Day this past weekend.
I did. I had the most special Mother's Day because it was also the release of my 6th 1 hour special on the same day. And it was also my
Oh.
birthday. So it
Oh.
was
It was
very
your-
busy.
Wow. You had a
Oh my
birthday, you
God.
had,
My hour special released on YouTube.
and like it's your
it's my
first
first
Mother's
Mother's
Day as a
Yeah.
mother. Yeah.
yeah,
Which part was more exciting, the special, the birthday, or the big,
the special.
the special?
That
Fuck the kid.
I've been waiting
Yeah.
for this for a long time. We filmed it back in October at the Ryman in Nashville. And I've been waiting for like it to be out into the world. And so it was fine. Like I forgot it was even my birthday. I wasn't even thinking about that at all. And my mom was in town
Okay.
too. And I almost forgot to tell her Happy Mother's Day because I was just like, okay, I got a live chat with people in the comments section. Oh, Happy Mother's Day, Mom.
Did it feel like Mother's Day for you yet?
No.
No.
I mean, I'm pregnant. I'm waddling, but maybe next year when I actually
Okay.
have like a baby who will probably be around 1, almost, you know?
Almost.
Yeah.
Like 11 months.
How does
Yeah.
it feel to shoot something like so far in advance and then just kind of have to sit on it? Do you just have to forget about it? Do you constantly think through things in your head up until the moments it's released?
Well, we're going through edits. We're going
Yeah.
through all kinds of stuff. And and I have jokes about me not wanting kids in like all of my hour specials. So in this one, I have a joke where I said, because my friend moved in during COVID quarantine, her and her son moved in. And I said, we always said we didn't want kids and then we adopted a single mom. And I'm saying that as I'm about to give birth. Like that's when people are watching it, you know? And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, well, clearly I wrote this joke a long time ago. But it's interesting, yeah, because you film it so far in advance and then, you know, what is still relevant at the time, you know? So it's hopefully all of it. But
So when you were
Yeah.
joking about not wanting to be a mom, was that something that was just more a joke at the time or something that you actually felt?
oh, no, I never wanted kids.
Okay. What changed?
COVID quarantine, all of that. It was like when we were all home doing nothing, nobody was touring, nobody was filming anything. And I actually was like, I'm okay with this. Like, I'm okay not going back on the road and not, if I never book another acting gig, I'm okay. Like, and my career was always my baby. That was always the thing that I put first in my life. And so when I was at this place where I was like, I'm okay without it, then I was like, oh man, did I mess up? Should I have had kids? You know what I mean? Because all my friends would always tell me, oh, the most fulfilling thing is like having kids. And I'm like, are you sure? Have you ever been on a sitcom? You know what I mean?
It's pretty great.
Yeah, you know, craft service. Are you familiar? So that's when I started looking into it. And at that point I was 38 because I was like, I don't even know if I have options. I don't know if I have eggs left. I don't know anything because I never looked into it because I never wanted kids. And that's when I started looking into it and realizing I had very minimal options. And it was a whole journey from there. And here I am.
What were some things that you learned, both good and bad, especially as someone who got pregnant, later into their 30s? I know we hear a lot about it's harder when you get older.
Right.
Anything to share with the audience for people who might be in your position, who have thought, I didn't want to have kids, and now they're in their early to mid 30s, or maybe they finally found someone they're happy with and they want to maybe have kids with. What's that experience been like, and anything that you could share about that experience that you had that might be helpful to someone else?
Anything I could share about being a geriatric pregnancy.
Basically, yeah.
That's what they... Well, now I
They
think they've
literally
changed
filed
it.
it
Have they
as
changed that yet?
Yeah.
It seems offensive.
And 35 is the cutoff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
35.
Because I knew a woman who was like 36 and she said, I'm geriatric now.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Maybe like ripe. Or something. What are other names that would be better than geriatric?
Well, I think they changed it now. I don't know
Financially
what it's called
stable.
now, but
yeah. Emotionally mature,
where being pregnant is now a positive thing.
Yeah, exactly. Not an oh shit.
Yeah, exactly. I would say anybody out there who, if you're not even if you're considering it, just like check if you have eggs, like see what your situation is. Save your eggs if you can. It's a very expensive process and it's hard on your body, and not everyone can go through it because some people can't handle the hormones and all of that. But if you can save your eggs, I would at least start there so you can give yourself some options for later on if you do decide. Because that's where I wish I would have saved my eggs earlier, because I started at like 38, 39, and they're like, okay, you got 2. And I was like, oh, that's it? Are you sure? Because I
Fingers
feel real
crossed.
young.
Yeah.
Are you sure? Everybody tells me I look so young. They're like, yeah, maybe on the outside. Your inside's geriatric, full on. So I would say, yeah, start early saving your eggs if that's what you want. Because then once you get to geriatric pregnancy, then you have lots of concerns. Like, one, will I have an ugly baby? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's just really
Natalie
important
and I were
things.
talking about that the other day,
Ugly babies.
Yeah, like, I was like, I don't know. I don't know if we necessarily will have a good-looking kid.
You think...
I'm worried about my side.
Do you think that all babies are beautiful? Some people
No.
think all babies... Okay,
Absolutely not.
me either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely not one
like
of those.
you. Yuck.
Yeah, I've seen some ugly babies.
Yeah. I've seen some real ugly babies.
I would never say it. You know what I mean? I'm not that person.
I wouldn't say
I'm
it, but what I wouldn't do is I would just be like, cute. I'd be like real passive about it. Like,
I would do all of
I would be like, oh my God, they're the most beautiful baby. I'd be like, yeah.
I wouldn't say the
fine.
words, but I would do all of the sounds.
Yeah.
Like, like I would do all those. Where
Look.
You think that I'm saying like so
a spectacle.
Do you
But
think
I'm like,
you
look
will
at
be
you.
honest about your baby's looks?
So that's the thing. I hope that I won't be blinded by love. You know what I mean? I could be blinded by love and be like, oh my God, she's the most beautiful thing. And then all my friends are like, you know? That's what I need is honest friends.
But I
around
feel like
me.
you need to let the baby marinate almost. It's a little
Oh, they gotta
squished
grow
at
into their
first.
fa-
You got to
exactly,
grow into their
exactly.
face. Might
Let me
give it
tell
a
you.
year, Because
me
also,
tell you.
ugly baby doesn't mean good looking kid.
No, it does not.
Yeah.
I've seen some beautiful babies, and then they grow up, and then by the time they're 16, they're already balding. Their skin is falling off, and you're like, wait, what? Is it gluten? Should we cut out gluten? What's happening here? You had so much potential in
Peaked
your
way too
first
soon.
6 months.
Yeah.
But cute babies do not guarantee anything. I've seen ugly babies grow into very
Good-looking
beautiful
people,
people. Yeah. So
Yeah.
you never know.
We love
How-
a comeback.
And you're married?
I am married.
How has your husband been during the pregnancy?
He's very logical. So I'm emotional, feeling all the things, and he's okay, moving all the finances around and making sure he's very in that brain. So I think he's in for an awakening once this baby actually comes, and
How so?
emotionally,
Okay.
because you can't think through a baby. He's very much a thinker. He's summa cum laude brain, you know what I mean? And you can't think through the motion of a newborn. You gotta just feel that.
Have you guys discussed who's waking up in the middle of the night, parenting the rotation early on, or is that something you guys are going to figure out on the fly?
Well, he's already said, "Don't wake me up."
Okay.
And
are you
I'm
going
like,
to listen?
Ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
You're like, after I push them out of my body,
Right.
you're like,
Yeah.
nope, that's on you.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. No, but we do have help. But I think he thinks the help means it's taken care of. There's another reason why I think he's in for an awakening. Because, like, yeah, we do have help. There's going to be somebody helping us, but you still are a part of it.
Did your husband get you anything for Mother's Day?
No, he didn't.
What?
Rude. Let's call him.
Should we?
Speakerphone.
Maybe is he friends with Chris Pratt?
No. Why, he doesn't do Mother's Day gifts or
Well,
something?
he did a Happy Mother's Day to his now wife, Catherine Schwarzenegger. But his ex-wife, Anna Faris,
Right.
who he has a child with, was not mentioned in said Happy Mother's Day post. And some of the internet had a bit of a problem with that.
Yeah, I can also read the exact caption because
Yeah.
I do think the phrasing is pretty.
Okay, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.
Okay, so Anna's included right there.
So
That's
is your
what he
mom,
said.
technically.
But
Sure.
especially grateful today for Catherine. You're a wonderful partner. You've provided me such a blessed life. Our 2 daughters are so lucky to have you, and you're the best stepmama to Jack.
Oh, so he even
And
brought
then-
in the stepmom
Yeah.
card, but doesn't name mama.
Well, all mothers.
No, Nick. That doesn't.
And then he then goes on
I don't know. It's his ex-wife.
to name his mom, which, totally
Right.
valid. And then he also talks about Mama G, his
What do you
new
say-
mother-in-law.
What do you say about his mom?
She provided such love, light, and laughter.
And then
Okay.
what about Mama G?
Lucky to have you as a mother-in-law.
Okay.
Everyone's getting mentioned.
I'm not familiar with, do they not get along? Like, is it public info that they don't
I
get
feel
along
like
or
it's
something?
unclear, but I've heard rumors that they're not best friends.
I feel
But they're
like there
exes.
could be
Yeah, I don't.
just an honorable mention of you're raising my child. You know what I mean? Like, you're still a mom to my child. Thank you, Anna, for
An honorable mention would have been nice. Do you think Catherine had anything to do with it? Because I feel like sometimes when it comes to exes, our
I
current
hear you.
partners will play a strong role. I have found that in my relationships that I am far more indifferent about my exes than some of my current partners have been about my exes. And so it was more of a self-preservation situation
Yeah.
rather than it was like, do I want the internet mad at me or my girlfriend?
Right.
Like, I'll take the internet for 500.
I'm going to say that either maybe the wife had something to do with it or he just wasn't thinking about it. I don't think he maliciously left her out. Unless what he knows wifey gets a type of way if she's mentioned, then he probably did purposely leave her out. But I could imagine him just being like, oh, forgot. Whoops, my bad.
I don't know if he forgot, though.
Really?
I don't
Guys are
know.
dumb sometimes.
They are.
No offense.
No, done taken.
I
I don't know. Because he mentioned Jack, so he didn't forget about the kid.
Right.
Yeah.
And to
Oh,
say
yeah,
that
that
she's
is a
a
good
great
point.
his current
That
wife is a
good
great
point. I did forget
stepmom
he mentioned
to
Jack.
the kid.
When you're typing out a caption, a lot of thumb action. You have time for it to cross your brain.
He did mention
I have
Jack.
a
Forgot
hard
about
time
that part.
imagining that Anna didn't cross his mind.
When he said Jack.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Your mom's cool too, Jack.
Right.
I think all the mothers out there. He
yeah,
was
was he
covered it.
trying to do like a blanket statement to avoid all of this by saying like, well,
In his defense, though, I do think there's kind of a no-win situation because anytime you want to get sentimental about an ex, then that's open for criticism
Sure.
as well.
I think one thing that cannot be criticized is just gratitude.
Yeah.
true.
Thank you.
And co-parenting.
Thank you. There you go.
It is so impressive when people co-parent.
That's
I
what
think
I'm
it
saying.
requires such a high level of emotional maturity in such a heated situation.
Yes.
So gratitude and co-parenting,
Yeah.
2 winners.
So is Chris Pratt an asshole or is he not an asshole?
Well, I don't know enough about him to make that assessment.
Not
but
like as a core, but just in this particular situation.
I would say in this particular situation, he definitely should have mentioned the ex, at least in an honorable mention.
I feel like Catherine had something to do with it.
Interesting.
What if he just tagged Anna in the post that didn't mention her?
To all the
as his
mothers.
son.
But just through like a tag.
You're in there, babe. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's like a picture of his son in the top right corner. There's just the tag of just her name.
Yeah. But the tag's behind Catherine, so
Right,
you
you
can't
can't even
really
click
click
on
on it.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Throw something on the story. Who knows?
Oh, yeah. She gets a story, but the other ones get a
Get
grid.
a grid. Yeah. It
That's
is.
the difference.
I do think that's a good point, though, that like in a current relationship, like the way exes are handled should probably be determined by the comfort of a current partner. But I always feel weird about bringing it up. If I ran into someone who would like see, was very much over, but like chatted for a bit. And I was like, I feel like I want to mention this to my boyfriend just to like disclose. Not that anything happened, but like
Sure.
it's one of those things where it's like, I feel weird about bringing
But
it
if
up.
I
And then I
mention
also
it-
feel weird about
Yeah.
it coming up later.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Do you have, what is your like policy when it comes to like communicating with a partner? Like, do you err on the side of over communicating, under
Like
communicating?
if you run into someone you hooked up with,
I think we don't care, both of us. I feel
do you
like-
want to know? Like if you walk into a room and let's say there's a woman there that your husband had sex with years ago,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
do you want the heads up knowing that he did? Not that he cares or anything, but like on the off chance you might have a conversation with this woman and she knows that she had sex with your husband, but you have no idea. Do you want to be in the know or do you want to be oblivious?
I think I would want to be in the know, but I feel like my husband's the type of guy that, one, we're very honest with each other, but also we don't like care about things. Like if we were to walk in a room and he would see something, he'd be like, "Oh, I hooked up with that chick." I think he would say something like that.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, "Oh, which one?" And then I'd be like, "Ew."
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
we're not really like jealous.
Well, imagine going on tour, both like you going on tour and him
Right.
going on tour. Like, how do you navigate that in terms of like keeping your cool, especially when like, we had like Scandival in the news and we have all these incidents of like what feels like total blindsides of
Infidelity.
people. Yeah, infidelity and people
Right.
just like doing so wrong by their partners. Like,
But
how
also
do
because when
you
you spend a lot of time with someone, whether it's on the road or working together or being friends, it's just like one of those things. If you're around someone that you're physically attracted to, it can lead to.
Totally. And we've discussed that too, that we're not immune to any of those things. So like there's two things to say. One thing that we'll do if we spend a lot of time apart from each other, like we're both like if I'm touring, he doesn't really tour anymore. But when we were both touring, one of our things that we would do is it's like an intimacy game. Like, how do you stay intimate while you're apart from each other? And a therapist taught us this early on in our marriage, like in our first year of marriage. We're going on 12 years. And it's basically you ask your partner, what is something that you thought today that you wouldn't have told me if I didn't just ask you?
Great question.
And it's basically, we think so many thoughts throughout our day that we don't actually share out loud. Like there's thousands of thoughts that go through our mind that we don't share out loud. But if you take a moment to think about what is something that you were thinking that you wouldn't have actually said it out loud, but here you are creating this now intimate space and I'm letting you see into me to continue this intimacy, even though you're 5,000 miles away from me. So that's one thing that we would do to practice staying close. Otherwise, our conversations would be, how was your show? Good. How was yours? Good. Okay, I'm tired. Me too. Okay, bye. And there's no connection in that. There's no substance in that. So that was one of our tools that we used, when we were apart from each other. We're very honest with each other too. And you have to be secure in yourself to be able to hear your partner's honest thoughts about everything, from whether it be their insecurities to they saw somebody that was hot today at the gym or whatever it was. Like,
Would that be a thought that one of you might share with each other? Like once, I saw someone I kind of thought they were hot.
oh yeah, like my husband, he goes to the gym every day.
Okay.
And he'll be like, babe, there was this girl at the gym today. Like, she knew what she was doing. She'd be out here in these Instagram outfits and just fly. And we've joked about how, like, Beyonce, Let Me Upgrade You. Remember that song?
Yes.
Like, I would sing that to my husband because I upgraded my husband. And he's like, man, if I were to go back on the market now that I've like upgraded his life and he has like all the tools, he has like his fancy cars and everything, he'd be like, bro, I don't know what I do out there now that he has like all the things that girls would want. But like we're just honest with each other about those things. But he's also very honest in the fact he's like, but I can't be a hoe. Like I don't have it in me to hoe it out. Like I'm too invested. Like he falls in love. He watches all the romantic movies, romantic comedy. I'm watching the action dramas, and then he's watching like Hallmark romantic comedies.
How did you two meet?
Mutual friends.
Okay. Like, was it like a hookup? Like not a hookup, but a setup?
Yeah.
Rather?
Mm-hmm. I saw him at their wedding a long time ago, and I was like, ooh, he's hot. But nobody introduced me to him, and I wasn't going to introduce myself. So I was like, oh, well, you snooze, you lose. And then I left. I didn't meet him. I just saw him, and then I went and I cyber stalked him on the internet after that.
As one does, yeah.
Yeah, and I looked up everything about him. I found out he was in music, he was in a band, blah, blah, blah. And I was like very confident in myself. And I was like, oh, well, you missed out, sir. And I did not message him or anything. I didn't try to like reach out. I was just like, snooze, you lose, bye. 2 years went by. And then my friend texted me out of the blue. And she was like, I want to hook you up with somebody. I was like, who? And she's like, look him up. I don't know if he's your type. His name is Manuel Reyes. And then as soon as she said his name, like all my research came flooding back to me. And I was like,
You're like, he went to the Bahamas in 2007.
Yeah.
Sherlock Holmes.
yeah, exactly. I was like, okay, I'll look him up. I never told her that I already did. I was just like, okay, I'll check.
When
I'll
did you
see.
tell him?
I eventually told them and the whole story to the
Sure.
world, but not until he was like locked down. You
You're
know
like,
what
so
I mean?
listen, I used to stalk you.
Yeah.
It was my homepage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had you as my lock screen.
There was a
photo.
shrine. Don't worry, you're safe.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, then I told a joke about that. My last hour was called technically not stalking because I stalk my husband, but
Oh.
technically it's not stalking because he is my husband.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just that I care as much as a stalker would. So
We love that.
Yeah.
We love that. Were you nervous when you were deciding to get pregnant? Was that something that was kind of nerve-wracking? Did I'm sure you had friends, it sounds like you had friends who had pregnant before you,
yeah.
and they had their stories. Was that something that kind of gave you anxiety, or was that something once you decided you wanted to have a kid, you were super excited, jacked up, and gung-ho about it?
To be honest, I had to work through a lot of shame because for a long time, I said I didn't want kids. And that was my honest thought. And so the fact that I was changing my mind, I felt like I was betraying myself almost. And I had to like really work through that and let myself know that it was okay to change your mind. It took me a while to get to that place. Like it was something that I secretly like wanted, but I wouldn't say out loud because I felt like ashamed.
Like yourself, or did you feel like you'd have to explain yourself to people or your
Both,
kid one day?
to myself. Like I felt like I was betraying myself. Like
Okay.
for the longest time, I was like, nah, girl, we got dreams, we got goals. You know, like my career was always my goal and my number one thing. And kids felt like a consolation prize to me.
Sure.
Like if I ever had kids and that meant I didn't get my dream, like that's what that meant to me.
How has your perspective changed now? I mean, you're still out here, you're promoting
Yeah.
your career, you dropped a special, you're about to have a baby. I'm assuming you're still planning on
Yeah, it's
investing
crazy.
in your career?
Definitely. And people have told me like, you know, with babies come blessings. And when I first started telling people I was pregnant, a good friend of mine was like, you know, there's an old Mexican saying that babies come with a loaf of bread under their arms, meaning like they come with blessings. And as soon as I got pregnant, I started getting like offers for things. Like I just finished a movie with Eddie Murphy, and
Oh, that's fun.
they just offered me a role in this movie. And like here I am like auditioning and trying to like book stuff, and it's just like, no, sorry, we went in another direction. And then I get pregnant, and then they're like, hey, do you want to be in this movie with Eddie Murphy? Hey, do you want to do this and that? Hey, we have this, you know, deal for like all these things started happening. And I was like, whoa, like I am so busy. I'm the busiest I've been in a long time now that I'm pregnant. Like now that I'm exhausted, now everybody wants to call me and like, put me, you know what I mean?
Usually happens that way. Yeah.
So
Not that I know anything about being pregnant, but
Next, like my last
So it
pregnancy, the
goes.
offers were flooding in.
I was texting with someone about coming on the show, and she's like, "Oh, I just had a baby," and she was like, "I've been so busy, I just had a baby," and I wrote back, "Totally get it," and then I was like, not about the baby, the totally get it about being busy part, but yeah, it was easy to put my.
So I'm definitely still going to be investing in my career, even more so now that my career is not my number one. It's kind of just like a bonus. It almost brings the joy back into it and takes pressure off because I do want these things. I do want success, but it's not my.
Yeah, they always say how casting directors kind of like people who don't seem to need or want the job.
Right.
You know, it's just like, whatever. I just play this role for fun. So there you go. Maybe you have that energy of just not caring or needing it.
Yeah. Just leaving it. Bye. They're like, wait, what? We want her.
It feels like it's so exciting because, you know, like comedians like Ali Wong, like have done, you know, we've had so many more like female comedians, both like being pregnant and then talking about like motherhood. And it's such a rich topic, or it's so funny. There's so much to say. Like, how do you kind of navigate talking about something that you know is going to be so tender and close to your heart? Like, kind of, because Hailey Bieber was like, you know, in the news recently for just being very candid about how she's scared of having kids, just seeing the way that people online feel comfortable talking about her and treating her. And I think, especially with comedians, when it's like, oh, it's not even though it's very personal, it's your work that I'm talking.
Not even her too.
About.
Like, there's a lot of mom shamers out there.
Totally.
A lot of moms who are willing to give their opinion to other moms about how they should parent their kids. And if they do anything, you know, different than what they have been told or think is safe or right, they will tell you.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, especially in the age of social media where everybody's opinion is magnified. It's in the mom world. It's in, you know, every aspect. There's people have their opinion that can now be magnified because of social media. I mean, I get it. I would be scared to have kids too if I was constantly being thrown darts at, you know what I mean? Like, I would be scared too. But as far as me writing material, I have always shared my life with people in the capacity that I'm comfortable. So I let people in up to a certain point, and I'll talk about my marriage. I'll talk about my relationship with my sister. I'll talk about my relationship with my brothers, with my mom, with my dad. And I've always shared my life with people. So I feel like this is just another aspect that I'll be sharing with people to the point that I am comfortable.
Sure. How do you feel about kids on social media? I think some people in the spotlight, especially if they have a social media platform, well, you know, post pictures of their kids and the pregnancy and the delivery and then, you know, first birthdays, and then other celebrities are more like, nope, I don't post my kids. And some celebrities do the whole like, I'm gonna post a kid and put like an emoji on their face. Yeah. Where do you fall on the spectrum of posting about your kids?
I think I'm definitely gonna post my kid.
Okay.
Like, I post too much of my life to all of a sudden, not like I'm gonna want to. If my kid is doing something so adorable, I'm gonna record it and I'm gonna show the world and be like, oh my God, look at her breathe, you guys. Like, is this not the best? I mean, I just think about how much I post my dog on Instagram, and I can't imagine being able to hold within me if my daughter does something cute. Now, will I create her own brand and have her own page?
Does she have? I don't know. Does she have her own Instagram page?
I mean, my dog does.
Your dog does.
My dog has like 17,000 followers. He's very popular on Instagram.
I had so many high hopes for Jeff's Instagram page, and I just gave up on it real quick.
You've never posted on it.
We need to talk about that. A lot of people fall off the map with pet Instagrams. Yeah. You know,
it's
they get really going 6 months in, and then
I had this whole idea of like having have this persona that like he hated me on his Instagram, you know, where I'd be posting like cute pictures, but his, you know, Instagram would be like him trolling me and making fun of me.
Funny.
But
takes effort.
It does.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care.
I kind of gave up on my dog's Instagram page as well. I'll post like every now and then.
17,000 followers though.
Yeah, well, because I used to post a lot.
Okay.
And he had a persona that he was like very hood. He was like, because I adopted him, he came from a shelter in South Central. So I kept that persona, and he was like this little hood dog. But really, he's like the sweetest. Like, he doesn't have an ounce of hood in him. But his persona in the beginning was very like, hey, what's up, babe? You know what I mean? He was very that dog in the captions. But no, he's just the sweetest thing ever.
Do you listen or follow Taylor Swift at all?
I listen to Taylor Swift. I don't.
Have you heard anything about her new man?
No, didn't she just break up with somebody?
She did, but now she's
Exactly.
apparently dating the singer of, what is
The
it?
1975.
1975.
1975.
Who
is
I'm just,
a band.
the only thing I know about him is that he makes out with his fans.
Yes.
What?
Like
Constantly.
Elvis style.
Yeah.
Stop.
Have you show her the videos? It's
In the
fucking
age
wild.
of COVID, I'm shocked.
Stop. I
No,
mean,
he
I
walks into the crowd
Uh-uh.
like he's like, he seems intoxicated,
Sir, yeah.
and he just
Oh,
starts
this doesn't
making
sound
out with
He's
random
not
girls.
on a good trajectory.
I'm just shocked that Taylor's is now dating him.
Oh, that's a fan? He just
Yeah.
brought on stage? Is he pulling her hair? What's happening? Oh.
It was like her first kiss, and then he
Oh.
goes into a crowd and starts like kissing all of them. I think she came on stage. I think
mean,
he asked about
to be
kissing.
sang to. But it looked like he was like making that happen.
I think it's his thing.
Oof.
Well, do you have the crowd? One in the crowd? So
Oh,
no,
even
like
with
down
guys
there, you
too?
see? Yeah, he's so many. He kisses so many.
Oh, he doesn't care. He just kisses
Oh,
everybody.
has he kissed a guy too?
Yeah,
All
like
right.
he's going
Kissing
for the guy.
everybody.
Equal opportunity kisser.
Is that, Why is it? Do we
I'll
know
be-
why
like-
that's his thing?
I kind of like it. I'll be honest.
Hot.
Like I wouldn't do it, especially in the age of COVID.
The next special, you're just like, all right, you're up.
But as we're like scrolling through all these photos of these equal opportunity kisses, I'm kind of like, good for you. Like it does give me a little bit of like Elvis-y, like, yeah.
But if
we're
I was
just-
Taylor Swift, I'd be saying no. But he's
Oh,
actually
right.
stopped doing it recently, so that's what people are
Oh
thinking.
no, I don't want to date him.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm like, good for you, but also no, I don't.
But do we know why that's his thing? Like, why is that a thing he does?
It feels very like
He saw the
rock
Elvis
star.
movie.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah,
If he
literally.
can get away with it.
He saw the Elvis movie and was very inspired.
I
In a
just
different
wouldn't
way
want to
than the
make
rest
out
of
with
us
that
were.
many strangers. I don't know.
He also he sucked a thumb.
No sucking. No, that's
This one's not
you're
great.
asking for all the germs. Is he doing?
So basically, he's
Tongue
just like a
kisses?
rock star who's like loves like truth or dare, but loves a good dare. Or he's like, I'll suck your thumb, or I'll make out with. Like,
Are
look at
these,
this.
like,
Yeah, this. Oh my god,
European-
gross. So that's Taylor Swift's new boyfriend.
Uh-huh.
No. How do we know this?
Because he's been starting to go to all of her shows. They actually
Oh.
had a thing
They were
about
holding
a decade
hands
ago.
at Nobu.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so now he's back in the picture. So I think that's why, I think two-parters of why she's moved on so fast. One, all of her friends have been unfollowing Joe, which makes people think that maybe he did something. Like there's some bad blood, if you will, pun intended. And so if you're more easy to move on
Okay.
if someone does something to you.
Sure.
And then also with someone you have history with.
Okay. One more question about the kisses before we move on. Are these like tongue kisses he does, or like European besos?
I mean, he sucked a thumb.
That part's disgusting. But
yeah,
I mean, they look intimate.
It looks.
they look wet.
They're
look
definitely
wet.
wet
They're not.
kisses.
They're wet. I don't know if it's sweat, if it's saliva.
There's a pucker for sure. I don't know.
I mean, this is like a 3-stage photo. He was with this guy for a while.
It's like a stop motion.
A
They should make a
3-stage
flip book.
photo.
This wasn't like a mwah, mwah, bisou. Like this was a bisou, bisou.
I wonder if, because he clearly looks intoxicated in all these things, I wonder if like the fan who is kissing him can smell his intoxicated breath, because intoxicated breath is disgusting.
yeah, white
Yeah.
wine breath.
Biggest
Oh my
ick.
God.
Biggest ick.
Alcohol breath,
It like it ferments
Smoke
in your
breath.
mouth. Ugh.
weed breath. Oh,
No, thank
worst. I'm wondering
And
if
he's
he
at a
has-
concert, so all these people have all of those, and
Oh.
and then
And it's
some.
sweaty.
And also he's been singing a lot, so he has like cottonmouth breath too to add to that.
Oh God.
What if
Oh.
he has nasty breath?
So
in there?
he's going around, and everyone who kisses him is like, yeah, I mean, it was cool, but like his breath is fucking rotten.
It kind of has to be, right? There's no way it's fresh.
Maybe he's like a Listerine like strips guy.
But do you think he's that conscious if he's intoxicated about like,
Oh,
you know what I mean? I don't think.
Well, and it
Unless
feels
there's
like
a real good production
like-
manager off to the side that's like, and Listerine strip, go.
it just feels like he probably has a decent sized ego if he's going around and just assuming everybody wants to kiss him. So I don't think he'd be that considerate.
When it comes to my breath, I don't care about you. I care about what you think of me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
I mean, like, it's more, I mean, if being honest, I'm more thinking about me when I'm worried about my breath.
because it's very fleeting to smell bad breath, but to know someone had bad breath is forever.
it's the ick of all icks for me. And so I don't want to have anyone think that of me. So freshening my breath is a favor to myself.
I always, like, when I do meet and greets, I have Listerine on my my rider.
That
full on Listerine. Like, I rinse my mouth out. I try to do everything I can, because especially after you've been talking on stage for like an hour, like you have that talky mouth breath. So I'm like, let me just get a little bit fresh something going on. And there's different kinds of bad breath, you know, like there's the bad breath that's just like somebody ate something bad and it's in their mouth and you just put a piece of gum in there. And there's the bad breath that comes from like the inside, where like you're dying inside, you know what I mean? Gum is not going to help this breath, because you put gum, it's just going to come out the nose. You know what I mean? Like when bad breath comes out the nose, then that's when it's like there's a whole
you
issue
need
here.
any type of gum doesn't work with smoke or anything like that. Yeah,
just adds to the musk.
It's just like a layer of smells on top. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like spraying cologne in a dumpster. It's
no.
Yeah.
Or like a smoker who's just like did the Victoria's Secret spray
Yeah.
after they smoke. You know what I mean? You're like, stop.
Yeah.
Would you ever tell someone if their breath was bad? Because it feels so hard to
It's very hard
bring
to
up
do.
in a kind way and like.
Natalie and I do. We're pretty honest. We're in a relationship.
Oh, with your partner?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
You're just like, go freshen that breath.
I tell my husband, I'll be like, did you eat onions today? Or I'll tell him this one. I'll be like, did you eat onions yesterday? Because that's usually when I don't smell it like right away. I'll smell it the next day. And I'll be like, you had onions yesterday. Don't talk to me.
But have you ever told a date prior?
Like back in the day?
Back in the
No.
day?
Or like a coworker?
I mean, makeup artists sometimes. You know,
Oh,
when
yeah. And they're so
very
close.
I have a friend who's done my makeup a few times, and I'm very honest with her. And I'll be like, hey, you got like mints or anything? Can you
Not for me.
pop one in? Thank you.
I told a guy yesterday that his fly was down.
That's different.
That's
That's
awesome.
different, but also that is another hard one to do.
He was just walking on Larchmont, and we were having lunch, and I just said, "Hey, buddy," and he's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "It's kind of."
How about something in your teeth?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you tell me. Nick tells me, which I
That's
really
good.
appreciate.
I let anyone. Yeah.
I always tell if somebody has
gotta
something in
tell
their teeth,
someone.
I'm always.
Yeah, your fly's down.
Oh, but have you ever told somebody that they have something in their teeth, but it's not? It's just like they have like
a gap.
a gap, and it's dark, and it looked like they had something, and you're like, oh no, you just have.
Yeah,
no
I have to
gums.
make sure it has to either be like green or on top of the tooth or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I've made that mistake.
I had like a similar situation where it was a girl in high school had like a big like abscess kind of thing on her, and I thought it was just like a little bit of dirt from the shadow. And I was like, oh, you have a little something. And then I tried to play it off, and it was so obvious what was happening. And she was like, you mean like the whatever like medical term for something?
Oh,
She's like, do you mean that? And I was like, no. There's like a little, there's a
flew
fleck
away.
of something.
It flew away. It's fine.
With a boil on my neck.
I felt so bad.
No, it's gone. You got it.
Oh, I have a question for you. It's been an ongoing discussion on the show. Who pumps your gas if you're in the car and you're driving? You or your husband?
My husband. I expect him to pump my gas even if he doesn't drive my car.
Yeah.
I'll be like,
Exactly.
babe, I have like no gas left. And he's like, well, you're the one driving your car. I'm like, yeah, I need you to put gas in my car.
Oh, so he goes and takes the car.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nick is even saying, like, if you're driving and you pull up to a gas station, does he jump out and go around?
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
one, he don't let me drive if we're in the car together. He
Nice.
always drives. Now in Los Angeles, I have an electric car, so we just charge it. But we just had the same kind of conversation. It was just yesterday because we were going somewhere. He's like, babe, you only have 30 miles left on your car. And I was like, yeah, because you haven't plugged it in, even though it's just right here at the house.
You're like, come on, babe. Why are you looking at me?
I said that I think men should be always pumping gas. It's like the one chivalry thing that is like you have to do. Like, you know, the opening the doors, sometimes it's just like, okay, babe, you can, I guess you can open. I don't always run to the other side of the car, but I don't think
it's
anyone,
a regional thing.
maybe it's a Midwest thing. I don't know. I just
Might
think it's
be.
nuts that any guy who's dating a woman would sit in a car while their girlfriend got out and pumped the gas.
That
it
is-
just dry.
Yeah.
I
I agree with you on
can't
that one.
fathom that.
I agree with
And
you on that
I
one.
just think if your guy's not willing to pump your gas, there's so many other things he's not willing to do.
I hear that.
I feel like the litmus test for chivalry is if they give you their coat when you're cold, especially if it's like a night out formal wear situation where
Cute.
it's like you were forced
Sure.
to wear like a little silk dress or something. I feel like that's kind of like my baseline for like if they're not going to
Okay.
do that, they're probably not going to do other things.
Have you ever had a guy refuse to do that? Or not offer? Like while you shivered?
I don't think so.
Oh,
I don't
sure.
recall
Yes.
that.
You have.
No, I hate him.
Or like been very reluctant about it in a way where I'm like,
That's almost even
like,
worse
we're
than
done.
not offering.
You don't know this, but we're done.
That's worse than not offering. Because you could like, maybe he's absent-minded,
Right.
not thinking about it, but to ask for the coat or for him to like begrudgingly
To
see
think about
you
it?
shivering and go,
to consider it.
yes.
do you want my coat?
He's making a pros and cons list in his
Yeah.
head, and I'm like, sir.
That's
well,
that's
I'm
even
kinda
worse.
cold, but
That's even worse.
Yeah. Ended a situationship.
So Kim Kardashian and Tom Brady are hanging out?
Whoa.
They're in talks. Or I guess they're in
talks.
talks.
Of course they
Their
are.
teams are talking to
they're in
each
negotiations right now.
That's what it sounds like. I don't
does,
I don't
though.
take anything I don't take any dating rumor from the Kardashians seriously.
No, you're very negative when it comes to them.
Not negative.
Jaded.
I'm just
Like PR.
not even jaded.
cynical.
I'm just like Kendall hanging out with Bad,
Bad Bunny.
Bunny. She looks like she hates him.
Yeah, people have been analyzing her body language a lot, and they were at a basketball
Ball
game
game,
together,
and he's-
leaning in. So if Amanda's Bad Bunny, and she literally was like, with her mark.
Oh no, like
Yeah.
leaning away.
I-
Bad breath.
Maybe
bunny.
he had bad breath.
Yeah, bad breath.
not
bunny.
not historically her type. She went from 6'4" NBA All-Star to not 6'4" musician. Very talented, you know. I think he's the biggest
Yeah.
artist in the world right now, but I think she hates him. She looks like she hates him.
They were riding a horse together, though.
That's
Really?
The same horse.
That's a bachelor date.
Oh.
That's a photo op.
Yeah, that's a photo op.
Never
right
would I
there.
ever get on the same horse as somebody else. Be like,
Also-
fuck no. Get
know-
your own.
Pete Davidson was kind of, got this reputation of being like the, everyone's rebound, so to
Uh-huh.
speak. But I feel like kind of Kim Kardashian's like the woman version of that. She's become like any major male celebrity who's recently single is being attached to like possibly dating Kim Kardashian. And it just feels like a PR opportunity.
Kim was in my dream last night.
What?
What did
Oh.
Was she
do?
dating Tom Brady?
No. She was in my dream, but it's still kind of about me. I dreamed that she posted on Instagram that she was watching my new special.
Huge.
Aw.
That she was watching my new special with her family. They were all on the couch watching it, and she was like showing on Instagram that how much they loved it and stuff. And I was like, oh my God. And I woke up this morning, I checked my Instagram, but it was just a dream.
Aw, that's endearing.
Because it was so grounded too. Like it was a very like realistic way of her appreciating you.
Kim, if you're out there, check out the special.
Please.
Please share on it on
I
social
think
media.
you might enjoy it.
Yeah.
I think my dreams.
Her and Tom can watch it
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
Little date night.
Well, Tom allegedly wanted to get into stand up at some point. I feel like you must
There it is.
hear this more than like 99.999%.
I think I'm doing stand. I've thought about doing
yeah,
stand
be
up.
like, oh yeah, I've always wanted to. People always tell me I should do stand up. Do like people
no,
say that to
I
you?
think people would be embarrassed.
That's awesome.
The thing that I get the most is somebody will say something dumb, not even remotely funny, and then they'll go, "Don't put me in your act now."
Oh, that's the worst.
And you're like, don't flatter
That's-
yourself.
That's the one that I get. That's the one that, oh, great, now you're going to talk about me in your show. Like, no, sir.
No.
No, I'm
Oh my God.
No.
Yeah. That I get that more so.
I was just in Vegas, and you meet some of the worst people in Vegas. Not the worst people, but annoying men. And
Interesting.
we
people.
were walking with these guys, and my sister and I were at the front. And my sister actually said something that was really, really funny. And I felt like I
Actually.
literally fell over, and we were like squatting on the ground because we were laughing so hard. And one of the guys was like, so you thought that was funny, right? Because he
Ew, I
had said
hate
something.
him.
And I was like, well, what did you even say? And he
Ew.
goes, I'd said, look, the sisters are together.
He had to repeat his joke. Oh.
And I was like, that wasn't a joke, though. Like, you were
We
just
hate him.
observing.
We hate him.
If you got to repeat the
No.
joke,
And turns out it wasn't even a joke.
No.
It was just pointing something
He's
out.
like, I'm an observational
Comedy,
comment. It's like,
yeah.
that's not what that means, sir.
Because I'm a big fan of Jerry Seinfeld.
No punchline.
Gross. Probably
Martha-
has stinky breath too.
Martha Stewart
Yeah.
crushing Sports Illustrated.
Oh,
Love
my
her.
gosh.
Oh, I have a crush on Martha Stewart.
Kind of hot.
I've been following Martha Stewart on Instagram for a long time, and she be posting her selfies in the pool where it's just like shoulders up, but you could tell she's just like in the pool, and I'm like, Martha, stop.
She's 81.
Like, what are you doing
That's
to us,
amazing.
queen? Like, she is. Oh, she's beautiful. I don't know. I like that she's beautiful, but also I'm sure she probably gets some work done, but not to the point where it's like you're trying to be in your 30s. Like, she's in her 80s, but she's maybe looks 60s, right?
Yeah.
But I love that. Give us wrinkles, girl. Give us grays. Give us all of that, and give us sexy. Like, that's what we need to see is older women being beautiful, so it's not so scary when we start getting those things. When we start getting the wrinkles, we start getting the grays, it's not as scary because we see the Martha Stewarts, we see the older women who are out here just like so hot, and we're like, yes, I'm gonna be 80 like you.
Did you see J-Lo in her new movie?
Oh, she's
It's-
fire. Mother, that
yeah.
one,
I mean, the movie, but
I love her.
she looked
She could do
as
no
an
wrong.
50-year-old
When she took her
action
jacket
figure.
off that first time and she had all those like shoulder neck muscles.
She looks incredible. It's unbelievable.
50
It's
something years old.
It's
Stop
really.
it.
Do you think Martha Stewart, at 81 years old, she's led? I don't know her whole biography. I don't know her, but she seems like she lived a full life. Do you think at this point at 81, going to jail is like something that she thinks is kind of a cool story to tell?
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
like at this point,
Now that she's out.
she's
yeah.
out. I don't know. She was in for like what, a year and a half.
Yeah.
But it's kind of bonkers that Martha Stewart went to jail.
5-month prison sentence.
5 months. Okay,
Wild.
Insider trading.
Wild.
that was kind of a.
I wonder what
crock.
it was like in there. Like for her. Like,
I know.
Yeah.
Federal
like,
prison.
was she like the kingpin? You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like, was she like
Did she
the
beg for
mama hen?
people?
Yeah.
Did she put on like tutorials?
It was a life experience.
Yes. I mean,
Yeah.
hopefully it wasn't.
She's
There was
like,
no
I've
trauma.
traveled the world.
Yeah.
I've
What
started
haven't I done?
businesses.
I haven't gone to
I've
jail.
gone to
Friends with
prison.
Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
That's
She and Snoop are one of my favorite duos, I think.
yeah.
It's so silly, but I love it.
Yeah.
If you were going to have like an odd couple friendship, who would you want? Like someone who would just appear very, very different from you. Like,
That's a good question. I don't know. I would have to really think this one through. I mean, Martha Stewart, that would be great, but I'm not as opposite as Snoop Dogg. You know what I mean? From Martha Stewart. I don't know. That's a good question. Who'd be your odd bestie?
I don't know why, Angela. I'm getting like Joe Biden for you. I just feel like you two would be an interesting duo.
Joe
I received that.
Biden.
He's kind of funny. I mean,
I'm just trying to think of someone like opposite of Angela.
like, do you remember back in the day when I think it was when Obama was first leaving and all those memes that were coming out
Oh
of
my
them
God.
being besties?
Yeah.
Yes, like with the ice cream cones and
that they made him real funny, and I was
Mhm.
like, I could be friends with Joe
Joe
Biden,
Biden.
but it's really whoever wrote this meme I could be
Yeah.
friends with.
Who could I be friends with?
well, I feel like it would.
Kris Jenner.
yeah,
Oh my God. Yeah.
I would fight you for that one though. I would lay down my life for Kris Jenner, probably.
You would.
Yeah.
But that wouldn't be as odd for you. That'd be
No,
more
I know.
like
That's what I'm
mentor
saying.
mentee.
It'd work
kind of-
well for you.
Game recognizes game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you would. Maybe you with someone who's like very, very loud and like very gregarious and out there.
Like a rock star. Oh, the guy who's just kissing people.
Yeah, you
Matt
and-
Healy?
Matty Healy.
Yeah.
I don't want to be friends with him.
No, I want to watch you drink a martini with Chris.
I was gonna say maybe Jack Black.
Okay.
Like,
Hmm.
he would like
I'd be friends with
barbecue
Jack.
for you or something. I don't know.
I'd be friends with Jack Black.
Maybe
Sure.
someone British. I don't know.
I was like Rebel Wilson.
Oh,
I don't know much about her, but sure.
She's fun. She's got an accent.
yeah, she got married a lovely
Yeah,
lady. I think.
yeah.
I'd love to be friends with Rebel.
Yeah.
They're married?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Really?
I
Yeah.
think recently.
Yeah.
Oh, good
Yeah.
for her.
Yeah. Newly
Yeah.
married.
Or engaged.
Or
Yeah,
newly
I
engaged.
thought engaged. Like at Disneyland or something, right?
Yes.
Licensing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you a Disney person?
You a Disney adult?
I am not. However, my assistant here, Danielle.
Appar-
Are
Oh,
you a
she-
Disney adult?
Apparently.
And to be clear, we are not saying anything negative about Disney
I feel the
adults.
shame across the room.
Okay, she went 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, if you have a pass, I know people who have passes who go.
Were you a ketchup kid?
Like ketchup the food?
Yeah.
Condiment?
Yeah, there's
Do you feel
certain
like they're
kids
linked?
growing up where yeah.
Is the theory of yours?
It's a
Ketchup
working
kids
it's a
or
working
Disney
theory. Like a
adults?
kid who like has to put ketchup on everything. There were like certain kids you were friends with
Yeah, like-
where like they were the ketchup kids. Like they had to have ketchup on everything. They couldn't eat without ketchup.
That's my husband today. He's 42.
He's a ketchup kid.
Yes.
Okay.
It's real gross that he puts ketchup on everything. I'll make soup. I love soup.
He puts ketchup in
He puts
soup.
ketchup in the soup that I make. Disgusting.
That's disgusting.
I
Were you
think it's like a
ketchup kid?
clutch for him now.
No. Okay.
Or a
Oh.
crutch. Yeah.
Mm.
Well, he put ketchup on the Chinese food that one time.
Yeah.
And that
Oh.
made me break out in hives.
Everything.
After I heard soup, it's pretty much everything's
Yeah.
game.
Nothing is
Like,
sacred.
There's nothing's shocking me after soup.
If we go to restaurants, he'll say to me, "Babe, do you think they have ketchup?" And I'll be like, "Don't you dare!"
Like a nice
Like at
steak
like a
place.
nice steak place. Like
He's asking for
"Don't you
ketchup.
dare."
Not even A1.
No.
He's going straight to ketchup.
Yeah.
Oh.
I know.
What would he do with like a Trader Joe's like truffle ketchup situation?
He don't like the fancy stuff. Just
Heinz.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
a
yeah.
Heinz 57 kind
Just-
of guy.
plain old ketchup. And then we'll go places and we'll ask for ketchup, and you can tell when it's their homemade version, and we'll be like, "Oh,
Oh.
man, it's homemade."
Like,
Yeah,
what
I
is
don't like
this?
homemade condiments. Like,
No.
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 I respect that for you. but
Amanda's
I
already
love
brainstorming
a
what she
homemade-
wants to make
like
for
a
you.
chutney kind of situation.
No, like if you go to a restaurant and they made their own thing
ketchup
of
or-
what
Yeah.
or
you
like
were
on Vanderpump,
expecting.
they made their own ranch.
Did they?
Yeah, everybody loved
That's-
it.
Let me tell you,
How are
hit
you
or
not
miss.
watching Vanderpump?
I don't know.
It's so
What's
good.
it about?
Okay, this is how I explain it to people. So
People cheating, fucking everyone.
at this point, it's gotten crazy.
Chaos.
The way it
Bloodshed.
started is the premise that in a restaurant, everyone's fucking each other. Like this is
That is
something we
very true.
all know to be true. The show started as just being like, let's put cameras on a specific restaurant where not only are they all
Oh.
fucking each other,
They're working.
it's LA and they all want to be actors and models. So they're power
So
hungry.
it's about restaurant.
So it literally started out as like the drama of the like the waitresses, the kitchen staff, like everyone,
Okay.
and now some of them own their own restaurants, and it's
Oh, that's
grown a
great.
lot
Good for
bigger.
them.
Yeah,
but
some
that's
of them
the
like, and then
premise.
there's been cheating and relationship flip flopping, and
Well, and like the editing is so good because they've been going for 10 years. They're on
Mm.
season 10 right now. And so
So
anytime
they've
they
got their group.
yeah, but it's like anytime they reference something, they'll do a flashback and then it'll be
Stop.
like in 2014. Like they'll
Stop.
give you all the
they're
context.
constantly calling them out.
Yeah.
a
Oh,
lot
yeah.
of bibliography
Yeah.
for the show.
I mean, I used to work in the restaurant industry. Obviously, you know, coming up in the entertainment industry, you have to work in a restaurant at least once. But even when I was young, I worked at the Outback Steakhouse.
Mm.
Let me tell you, down under,
I had to pick
things
up
be
a
going down.
I had to pick up a DoorDash order from Outback, and there was something that onion thing. That
Oh,
shit
bloomin' onions.
stunk up my car for
You ordered
so
a
long.
blooming onion?
No,
from
she was doing
Outback?
DoorDash. Somebody else
I was
ordered.
driving it to someone's
She was on
home
the clock.
When were you doing that?
during the pandemic.
You're doing DoorDash during the
We have
pandemic?
had this conversation.
I
Nick.
forgot.
He
Really?
was watching Vanderpump. He
Yeah.
missed it.
I was watching Vanderpump.
Oh yeah, but everybody was hooking up at the Outback.
Yeah.
like kitchen stuff, and it would be funny because it'd be like all the white girl waitresses were hooking up with all the like Salvadorian like kitchen staff, and they were like full on like yes, Poppy. You know, I'm like, oh my gosh, y'all are crazy,
Wild.
Everybody's hooking up. I mean, I was a hooking
Even
up.
at the Outback Steakhouse. That's
Oh,
wild.
yeah.
Everybody's
At the
fucking
restaurant?
At a restaurant.
What was the spot in the restaurant that people would hook up? At the cooler?
like in the restaurant.
Did it
Oh, I
ever
don't know.
happen? No.
I never seen it in the restaurant.
There was no like break room
I just know
hookup
outside of the
Outside.
restaurant. All
In
of
the
a sudden,
parking lot.
in the
people were like,
cars.
"Oh, now Hector over here with Julie."
Yeah.
Julie.
And
Yeah.
and like for an industry night, like you know all the bartenders in town, so you go have like these huge big nights on like random Monday benders, and then go home with your coworkers.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to watch Vanderpump.
I really think you should. Yeah. Is our caller ready?
We do, yes.
All right. Well, it's time for Sweat in the Wedding, where we give relationship or friendship advice to someone who's going through some sort of wedding planning drama.
Yes,
exciting.
just wedding related.
So, are you ready, Anjelah?
I'm very excited about this.
Okay. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. What's your name?
My name is Grace, and I'm 24 years old.
How can we help, Grace?
My fiance hooked up with a mutual friend of ours before we were together, and she's trying to keep it a secret, and I kind of want to squash it all before we get married.
And what do you mean by squash? Like tell everyone they fucked, or like what exactly?
No. She doesn't know that I know
Okay.
that they hooked up, so I would like to have a conversation with her about it. So then kind of clears the air of everything that's happened.
How close are you with this person?
She is dating his best friend. So we see each other pretty regularly.
Okay. All right. Does the best friend know?
Yes.
So everyone knows. And she thinks that everyone knows but you.
Correct.
What about that makes you annoyed?
It annoys me. I feel like she looks at me like I'm kind of dumb and like don't know this big secret that happened between her and my fiance. And my fiance actually told me the day we started dating, because I think he just wanted to like be honest and let me know like, hey, by the way,
sure,
we,
Makes
her
sense,
and I hooked up, but it's never been a thing. And I don't know how to like casually bring it up. And it's been obviously I've known for 2 years now and still haven't said anything. So
why now? Like, why now does it bother you?
I suppose because we're getting married and like I know for sure that they're going to be in our lives forever, where I like to put off drama. I don't like to associate myself with drama, but we're starting to see them a whole lot more now. We're like renovating a house, and honestly, I can't look at her without thinking that my fiance's been inside of her. I don't want to think that way. I just want to think of her as a friend or an acquaintance.
Is she doing anything?
Yeah. So when about a year ago, we had taken a trip and there's a lot of alcohol involved. Us four were on the trip, my fiance and I, her and her boyfriend.
So you agreed to take
a lot of alcohol.
A group trip with the four of you.
Yes.
Knowing
so this
that
trip
they all fucked, and but you know that she didn't know. And okay, all right, go ahead.
Yeah, there was also other people on the trip too,
okay.
But she had told him what happened between us years ago is something that she can never know. And my fiance told me the day after, and I suppose in that moment he just should have said,
"Yeah,
well,
she
I
knows."
actually already told her, and he realized that after the fact. He was honestly just long gone at that point. Which, reflecting back, I should have just have said something right then and there. But again, I don't like drama, and I just don't want to associate myself with it. Since we've gotten engaged, she's been like all up in my grill about wedding details, asking me questions about his family. I think she thinks that she's going to be in the wedding party.
She's not?
No.
No.
I have a prediction.
What's your prediction?
I predict that when you do bring it up to her, she's going to play it off like she knew you knew the whole time. She's going to be like, oh, I know you know. And she's going to play it like it was no big deal. It was a long time ago. It'd be like, oh, that was so long ago. But yeah, I thought you knew. Didn't you know? I thought you knew. I think it's going to be one of those.
If she does do that, what do you think about that?
I don't know, to be honest. I suppose then I would say like, don't you think this is something like we should converse about, or like, I don't know, come clean in a way?
Do you care?
Yeah. Why do you want to, what's to talk about?
I guess I have like a lot of anxiety about it. So I think like talking with her about it, because she doesn't know that I know, like, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't have a conversation with her. I don't
really know. It's this whole story is kind of interesting to me, just because, no one really did anything wrong per se.
Yeah.
It sounds a little shady for her to say to your fiance, hey, she can never know. But at the same time, I don't know anything about this person. I could make a quick kind of excuse for her where it's just like, she thinks you didn't know, and finding out now would make you feel like they were hiding something, even though she wasn't trying to, and she values your friendship, so she doesn't know what to do, and yada yada, and it is in the past. So You know, did she handle it the best? No, but is it malicious? Not necessarily.
Right.
But it clearly is bothering you. And I'm just wondering why so much. And if it is, fine. But like, this is kind of a you problem.
Yes, I agree. This is what I think. I think if it bothers you that much, do a couple therapy sessions on it, talk it out with your therapist. And the only time you're bringing it up to her is because you don't care about it and you want to clear the air. Like, hey, just so you know, I know, but it's whatever. It's in the past. It is what it is. Not because you need something from her. You don't need an answer from her. You don't need a certain response from her. However she responds is not going to dictate your emotional status afterwards. When you can get to that point, then you can have a conversation. But if you're having a conversation because you need some sort of response from her, none of her responses will be what you need.
Yeah, they'll piss you off.
Right. Yeah, I think that's like kind of just why I just want to tell her that I know. And it's like, to me, it's not a big deal. Like, I am happily in love with my fiance and I love each other. She's in another relationship. It's just more so like, so I can progress like our friendship and maybe not.
I think it bothers you more than you're admitting.
Letting on.
Yeah. You could text her, I know what you did, and see where that goes.
I know your secret.
I know your secret. I agree with Anjelah. You even said, like, now that you see her, you can't help think about your fiance being inside her. That's a fairly graphic thought and something I agree that maybe you need to work through, because you sitting her down and talking about this, I mean, if she has any ego whatsoever, even if she is your best friend, you're going to stroke that ego. And no matter what she says, deep down, she's going to know, like, it bothers you. And some fucked up part of her is going to like it. And so, yeah, I think you just need to casually just be like, yeah, I know. Yeah, of course I know. You didn't think I didn't know? Of course I know. You know, it's that kind of energy. You kind of bring it almost up out of the blue.
This reminds me of something that I'm just now thinking of. I actually made out with my best friend's husband before they met.
Okay.
Not before they met, before they started dating. And it was like they were kind of talking or whatever. And then we met and we just like made out or whatever.
Sure.
That her and I talking about it actually made us close friends. We weren't best friends yet. Like, it was just, I knew who she was. She was this girl. It was a whole like dancer community. When I first moved out here, I was like real into the dancer scene. You know, I was trying to do all the music videos and whatnot. Anyway, it's not about me. It's about you. And I made out with this guy. Turns out he was kind of seeing this girl. And I remember I came to her and I was like, hey, just so you know, I didn't know he was trying to date you or you guys had a thing going. And that was just like, I'm not trying to date him. We just like made out. It was nothing. It was whatever. And we talked it out. And then her and I became good friends after that. And that was like, I was in my early 20s. Now I'm 41 and she's my best friend today. But I'm just saying, like, I came clean, but I didn't care. She was a little bit hurt about that this guy that she was just starting to date, like, made out with some chick. And I was like, oh, but I didn't even know he was. Yeah. Whatever. It wasn't even a thing.
But you would be the friend in this equation.
Yeah. But the fact that we talked it out was she appreciated it, that we talked it out. So I don't know, like, you may appreciate a conversation with her as long as you let it go after.
Yeah, it all depends on the setup. I just feel like I still agree with your first take though.
Yeah, first take good. Disregard everything else I just said the past 45
No,
seconds.
I think eventually this could be something that ultimately, it sounds like you guys are friends. And for all you know, kind of to Alan's point, if this secret that you have always known wasn't true, or maybe it did get squashed or get brought up, you might be closer friends with her today. But I'm assuming there could be some wall you've always had up with her because you've known about a secret that she doesn't think you know, and blah, 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 blah. And that's always kind of, I'm assuming, been like, I don't know if I want to be that good of friends with her type of energy.
Right. That's exactly how I feel. Yeah.
Yeah. And a conversation might break that ice. I just think you do it in a way that's not like so heavy. It's like, can we talk? Can we sit down? Can we talk this through?
Right.
It's been eating away at me. It's been bothering me. Every time I see you, I think about my fiance's dick inside you. Like, yeah, you don't want to say any of that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I think you just want to be like, oh yeah, no. Like I know.
Girl, I know.
I've known the whole time. Like I've literally known since I met you. Like no big deal. Like you want to play it
That's
off
what it is.
like she's not a threat to you.
That's what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You think I would go on vacation with you if
Yeah.
I was threatened?
Yeah.
Come on.
She's like, oh God, that's so in the past. And like then she can feel a little silly for thinking that you would be mad or that she couldn't have told you, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. I didn't want it to be some serious thing because I do know it's in the past. I more so I want to like be able to like continue our friendship, and just have a conversation. That
how do we create the
happened
setup for
casually.
her to casually bring up that she's always known?
My dad said after having 2 drinks and or a beer and you guys go to the bathroom or something in the bar together, you just say it, but you're not too drunk, but you have a little bit of tips on you.
I mean, I guess, but how do we just bring up some other topic?
Can we also talk about the phrasing of you have some tips on you? Is that a thing? I love that. Does your dad want to like be my friend? That's awesome.
Yes.
I like that.
I mean, I think do you ever hang out with her one-on-one or only in double dates situations?
Normally just in double date situations. We have hung out alone before, but it's not as common, no.
She likes to talk wedding plans with you and stuff like that. I mean, it could easily be y'all are on double date season, like your dad said. You go to the bathroom and you just throw it out like, hey, it is what it is. Or maybe y'all do hang out one-on-one and you're going to do some wedding planning stuff.
If you do it in the bathroom, it's going to turn more serious. And not that I know what goes on in a woman's bathroom, but I feel like
I fervently disagree.
you disagree. Okay, well,
I think a bathroom is a very like
best friendships
place.
are made in the bathroom.
Yes, it's a place. It's forgiveness is a real core tenet of the women's bathroom. I feel like also like
you could be in the bathroom and be like, so what do you think of Matt's dick?
Yeah.
corner her in the handicap stall.
Yeah.
Do you genuinely like question? Because I have a pitch, but like only if it would like be the truth, which is like, do you if you kind of just like address this thing, it was a non-issue, would you genuinely want to be friends with her?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So
we have a lot of similar values and goals in life, so we get along really well. Yeah.
I think you can literally say that like the next time like you're a few drinks deep in the bathroom or wherever else, like where it's just the two of you, you can be like, hey, like I just wanted to say something, like be like, I know this is like super random, but like I just wanted you to know that like I'm not like so and so, we've talked about it and like it's no big deal, and like I just wanted to say that because I think you're so cool, and like can we hang out and like use it as like a clear the air and like initiate plans and then follow through with them, so that way it's like very obvious that you are okay with things. And then just one other thing I would add is, of course, like this is not a big issue, this is not drama, but like you're allowed to feel jealous. Like I think you're allowed to have fleeting emotions that feel like kind of strong, and I think sometimes for me, like it's when I try to be like, no, I'm not jealous, I'm fine, like, and kind of push that down, that shit starts to come out sideways. So like I would just say like it's so natural to be like, oh, I just had the haunting thought of my fiance hooking up with a person I'm sitting across from. Ew, ew, ew. I hate, like, you know that tweet where it's like your boyfriend pulled down the underwear of another woman before you, or it's like something like that where it's just like very tender, it's fucked up.
What tweet is that?
It's like, just remember that like your boyfriend, like it's definitely said it. I think they say panties or something. I don't know. It's like definitely more delicate. That's so much worse. It's but it's just the idea of like
what's the premise of that tweet? The
premise of the tweet is that like your boyfriend has like helped another girl take her underwear off when they were about to hook up. Like just like how it's like, sure, it's like the P and V thing is upsetting, but it's the intimacy of the build up, and just like knowing that like someone did hook up with someone before, and like if you do think about it, like you can think of a lot of images that will be like upsetting and like that you're better off not thinking about.
The way it's worded is like it's some sort of like lesson. What's the lesson other than like, yeah, you probably dated someone who's like fucked other people?
I think it's that like we all have rich histories, like just because they're not a part of the present doesn't mean they don't exist. So like just like I think it's just a reminder of how things are fleeting. I don't know. Sorry, I lost the plot a little bit.
Overall, that was some pretty sound advice. Like, I would want to be your friend after that. Like, I'm listening to that. I was like, yeah, let's be friends. Oh, I'm not in this situation. Like, so I feel like that's a good way to handle that.
Okay. I will for sure do that. I
and
feel
in-
like I liked Amanda's advice a lot.
And in private, you're allowed to feel all the feelings. Like just because you feel something one-on-one and you're able to like label it and like identify it does not mean you're making drama or making this visible to other people. In fact, I feel like it's a way that you are actively not doing that by like being like, hey, I have an honest assessment of like what's going on in here.
Be friends with her, but she is a secret keeper. So I would just remember that.
That's very sound advice as well. I think we should all be invited to the wedding as well, just so we can see how things go down. We're probably not going to go, but an invite would be nice.
Much appreciated.
I will email and save the date whenever they come out, just so you guys can see.
There's a good chance she has used the phrase, well, I didn't tell you because I didn't want you to be mad.
Yeah.
You know.
Which is valid.
Sure. I mean, I have friends like that. They're just not my like ride or dies. They're just not the people I count on.
Yeah.
It's a small red flag that she went to your fiance and said we can never tell her.
Because I think sometimes when people feel really awkward, they do things outside of their character. Like, and you know, it's like the kind of thing where it's like it maybe starts as a tiny thing.
Why is it outside
snowballs.
of their character?
Well, that's what we don't know. Like, we don't know if it's inside or outside. So it's like
usually when people are awkward or scared or nervous, then that's when their true character actually comes out. Because it's like it's easy to do the right thing when you're not up against it.
Yeah, I think there's also like honoring like the spectrum of like 90% of the time someone's going to react well, but
she just as easily could have gone up to her fiance and been like, have you not told her, because like I like your fiance and I don't want any weirdness, but like you should tell her. She just have easily could have said that.
I'm not saying she handled this situation well. I'm saying it is not like I don't think one data point tells you
no
everything.
I'm not saying don't be friends with her. I'm just saying just don't forget that.
It's a good reminder.
Yeah.
I'm definitely more trusting than you.
Yeah.
I'm like, everyone's happy. Yay.
It matters. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, that's keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer.
Yeah.
Not that she's an enemy, but it's
be
just
friendly with her and then see where the friendship goes. But, you know, if you ever decide to like bring her into the circle of trust, just make sure you have other data points that counter the fact that she told your fiance to keep this secret from you.
And in that conversation that you have in the bathroom where you're like, I'm not mad, blah, 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 whatever. If she starts divulging information like, oh my gosh, I just didn't want you to be upset, blah, blah, blah. You could also be like, is that why you told him not to tell me? It could come up in that.
Yes. Air it out.
You know what I mean? Like, but in the tone that she was giving you, like in that way.
You're the greatest, but also like, what the fuck?
Yeah, but also,
and then you make plans at the end of this conversation and you hang out, so you really can like kind of go hard to the paint.
Yeah, I like that.
All right.
Okay.
Well, keep us posted.
I will. Thank you guys so much.
You are welcome.
She's gonna stand up in her wedding. I'm just kidding. Maybe. We'll see. Do you have your bridesmaids picked out?
Yes.
Okay. So no chance.
She's going to come wearing the wedding colors, though.
She'll be wearing white.
She's like, do you want me to hop in for a few photos?
She'll be in the pews, be like, well, I mean, I fucked him. So.
I didn't know you guys were doing lilac. Oh, my God. That's funny.
All right. Well, keep us posted.
Well, I will, for sure. Thank you guys so much.
All right. Thank you so much.
Bye.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Is that why you told him not to tell me? Is a powerful line.
Yeah. Yeah. That'll put her on the spot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Is that why you told him not to tell me?
Face to face with the consequences of your actions.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hostility in the
if we're
bathroom.
going to address things, let's address things. You know what I mean?
Angela, this has been so much fun.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming.
I've sat in 17 different positions on this couch trying to get comfortable. Thank you so much. Next time I see you guys, I will have a baby.
Wild.
A full-on baby. It almost happened here. We were very close to making that happen. But then I adjusted my seat and we were good.
I thought we were going to have our first.
No birthing stain on the couch.
No birthing stain on the couch. Can you please let my audience know, again, where they can find your special, about the special, your social, all the things that you're doing? Plug away.
Thank you. Our special, it's my 6th one. Let me tell you guys.
Pew, pew,
my
pew.
6th hour special, it's called Say I Won't. It's on YouTube, and it's a full circle moment for me because my career popped off on YouTube back in 2007. This brand new thing called YouTube came out, and my nail salon video was one of the first videos to go viral, one of the first like comedy videos. And so YouTube really popped off my career, and from that I started touring. I booked Mad TV where I did Bonquiqui, and all the other things came from this video on YouTube. So the fact that I self-produced and I self-financed this special, and I brought it back to the platform that started it all off for me is very like full circle moment for me. So it just released on my birthday on May 14th, Mother's Day. And it's available for anybody to watch on YouTube, so anybody can go watch it.
Amazing. Well, if you're watching this episode on YouTube, go ahead and check out Anjelah's special. If you're listening to this show, go ahead and pop over to YouTube and check it out when you get home from whatever it is that you are doing. Anything else that you want to share?
You can find me on all the social medias, Instagram, the TikToks, everything.
There you go. All right. Well, thank you guys for listening. As always, don't forget to send in those questions at asknick@theviallfiles.com. Don't forget, we have another episode of Better Date Than Never live tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern. What are we talking about?
Orgies.
Orgies. And I think we're having...
Appropriate.
There you go. Yeah, very apropos.
Everyone to get involved.
Imagine us in an orgy.
I feel like we'd be very supportive. We'd be a tag team.
For sure.
We have
We'd picture everything.
You're doing so good.
we have a
be
couple...
Amanda.
I'd be like, that
Oh
light
my
is shining bright in
gosh.
your eye. Let me turn that off.
You're doing so good. What is that move? That's a really good
I
one.
like look at her. You know that video of Jamie Lee Curtis where she's like, "Ever needs to shut the fuck up and back the fuck down and let this woman shine."
That would be Amanda.
me.
Amanda would be in the corner with like a camera being like,
would
"You're
do
doing
that.
great."
Yeah.
You're doing so good.
They'd be like, "No photography. That is a huge faux pas of orgies. Get the hell out."
We have a lovely couple who's in a recurring orgy with someone from Bachelor Nation, and they're here to tell that story. We won't name names, but, you know,
Wow.
We'll get
We
some
will spill tea.
details.
Yeah.
Yeah.
should be fun. So check that out. That's live tonight. Also, as always, don't forget we have a new update special dropping behind Viall Files Plus tomorrow. So again, don't forget to check that out. Go to viallfiles.com to sign up for Viall Files Plus. It's a free 7-day trial. No excuses if you just want to go ahead and pop in and binge on your favorite updates. But there's a lot more amazing content available behind Viall Files Plus as well, so be sure to check that out.
We have Tinks next week for Ask Nick.
Oh, yeah, an Ask Nick special. Tinks joins us to answer some our Ask Nick questions. Tuesday on Freest, we'll be breaking down Vanderpump finale. You do not want to miss that. And then on Thursday, going deeper, we have Nicole from Selling Sunset to get into all the drama that is going on with her and Chrishell and all the cast people of Selling Sunset. A lot to get into. Be sure to check that out. We can't wait to share with you. Until then, have a great weekend. We'll see you back on Monday with Tinks. Bye. Hey guys, if you loved what you listened to, make sure you hit that subscribe button below. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.